Hello, hello, hello. Apa kabar, everybody? Welcome to Virtually Peranakan Fest organized by Peranakan Sayang. Nama saya Baba Alvin and I'm your host for this 2-day virtual online festival featuring all things Peranakan. This program was created for all Babas and Nyonyas and for those who love the culture to remember, reconnect, realize, rejoice and reveal more about our Peranakan culture. Now, please comment and say hello at the comment section, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. We are very happy if you say hello. Tell us where you're from, which part of the world you're watching this live stream from, and we're very happy to hear from you and say hi. And if you have any questions, please put it there as well. It is a Peranakan journey and discovery. So thank you, Kamsia, very much for joining us. Now for this session, we fly between Singapore and Melbourne. It is going to be a presentation of upcoming exciting Peranakan projects. It is called Project P. In this section, Project P hopes to engage you and get you to be involved in this effort for the benefit of future generations of Peranakans. We have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 guests who will be joining us in this session. So let's bring on our guests for this session and say hello to everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. We have with us Baba Alvin Tan. Hi, Alvin Tan.
Hi. Hi, Alvin.
Hi, we got same name, huh? Don't confuse, you all okay?
Yeah.
Then we have Nyonya Dawn Marie Lee.
Hello,
Pakai kebaya. Cantik sayangnya. Then we have also a Nyonya. We have Nyonya Kathy Lim. Hello. And we have Benjamin Tan. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
And from Melbourne, kita ada Baba James Seow.
Hello. Hello,
Hey. Okay, so this is Project P. Maybe we find out more about this project from Alvin Tan. Alvin, can you take us through and share with us, please?
Yes, thank you very much for having all of us on your program, Alvin Un. Project P is an initiative to bring Peranakans across the world together to explore the lesser-known aspects of the culture. Our aim is to present an inclusive and progressive view of Peranakan culture while engaging youth. P is in our name, not only stands for Peranakan, but also possibilities, passion, pride, potential, playground, and purpose. I'd like to now invite my collaborator, Dawn, to say a few words about this initiative. Dawn? Over to you.
Thank you, Alvin. Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn. I'm so glad to be involved in Project P, and I would like to invite you to join us. So as Alvin said, this is open to anyone across the world, whether you're Peranakan or not, who has an interest in the culture. Our main objectives are to be inclusive and to embrace diversity. Now, some of the exciting projects we have in store for you include a photography project and a food heritage project, which will be presented today. There are other groups within Project P that have come to us and they're interested in exploring, for example, Kelantan Peranakan culture, some Penang and Malacca stories, as well as other Peranakan related subjects. So if you are interested to join the group or if you would like to develop an idea, please write to us at the email address you see on the screen, peranakanprojectp@gmail.com. So we hope to get in touch with you because we would really like to make this happen. Thank you. Back to you, Alvin.
Thank you so much, Dawn. And now we have two projects to present to you. But first, let's present the first one. It's from Kathy and Benjamin, and their project is the Peranakan Photography Project. Kathy and Benjamin are starting a Peranakan photography project for Peranakan families, and it's titled In Frame: Peranakans Now. They will speak about their reasons for the initiative and how your family can play a part in contributing to the wealth of colors of the modern Peranakan culture. They hope that through starting this project, Peranakans can gain a deeper appreciation of their own family's history, as well as embrace the qualities that defines them as Peranakans today. Over to you, Kathy and Ben.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Kathy, and today I'll be sharing more about our project in Frame Peranakans now, and I'll take it through a slideshow just to kind of like look at some archival images and have a look and see how you can collaborate to our project as well. So I'll just play the slideshow. And I'm just wondering if everybody can see the presentation. If so, say yes, because I can't see you guys.
Yes, it's loading. Yay!
Great, thank you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Yep, so I'm here to share more about our project in Frame Peranakans Now, archiving and modernizing the Peranakan family photograph. Yep, we're a subgroup of Project P headed by Dawn and Alvin. And I'm Kathy, a visual artist and photographer, together with Benjamin, who works in sociology. And we're embarking on this new project using the medium of photography as a catalyst to understand our culture. So why photography? We're looking at what we know and remember of as Peranakan photographs. The image on the right is a Peranakan family portrait of these Baba and Nyonya, photographed between the 1920s and 1940s. And this may seem familiar to some of you as a historical image that you might have at home of your grandparents or ancestors. The faces look familiar, yet the picture presents an image of kind of a bygone era in a way. They capture a moment of history, a story of migration, and one of lifelong relationships. And in this relationship between photography and Peranakans is an important one, written by Peter Lee in his book Amit Gambar. He writes, like many migrant communities in colonial urban environments, Peranakans are categorized by a broad, mixed, and fluent spectrum of cultural practices. They are also characterized by a broad spectrum of social and commercial concerns. This kind of hybridity expressed through photography itself, such a hybrid medium, compounds the complexity of the relationship between Peranakans and photography. And until the 20th century, Peranakan social life was focused on traditional ceremonies and rites associated with family life, such as marriages, births, and deaths. These are often elaborately prepared and customs are meticulously observed, such as the image on a marriage here on the left. While these reveal some customs for ancestral portraits, such as the women always positioned on the right of a man, and the lighting condition of that era would happen best at the entrance of the home before portable flash and portable lights. These also reveal more complex thematics about migratory histories through the fashion of the time, through their westernized attire. And other images also present documents like children, such as this child sitting in a wooden toy car, photograph potentially marking their coming of a certain age, and elaborate funeral processions like the one on the right. Aside from commemorating life events, we also have more formal family photographs. The clothing represents a hybrid of cultures and showcases extended families, multiple generations in the same image between the 1940s and 1950s. And these images present a window into our past, showcasing more than just the people as well. In the top left, for example, this ceremony shows the traditional costumes and architectural detailing of the building, while the portrait of the lady, Madame Hosok wears a kabaya with 3 brooches, known as peresangs, bearing her initials HSNC, which is partially hidden in the bottom. They demonstrate how undiscovered cultures can reveal increasingly diverse and unexpected aspects of culture and society. However, like the picture in the top right, most of the old images of this era have been lost, discarded by descendants, or damaged kind of due to waterlogging or temperature conditions, like the photographic paper warps or peels, kind of like due to heat. So it's very difficult to archive. So going into the modern era with modern family portraits, if you Google search based on where you live in the world, the algorithm offers us a picture of familial normatively. Photograph of color, these images are bright and warm and vivid, and families are in cheerful disposition and present themselves as very relaxed in front of the camera. Perhaps the image is taken to document a very happy life event, like a marriage or a graduation or new recent family additions. While the same search, Peranakan family portraits, harkens to the idea of this past culture, ubiquitous to our like family ancestors, often sepia or black and white toned with a very serious atmosphere. Often an affair for the wealthy of the era, the Peranakan identity has been formed through such images, featuring a spectrum of conservative to experimental clothing, fusion of Asian, Western, and Mid-Eastern influences. So how have our past cultural traditions informed the present? We're wondering if there is a way to kind of bridge this gap and document the change in our heritage family portraits. With this in mind, we would like to create a collective of images featuring modern Peranakan families of the 21st century, taking inspiration from our own family archive. We would love to invite people from the community to partake in this project. With that, I'll hand it over to Benjamin to share more about how you can also be involved with in-frame Peranakans now.
Hello. Thanks, Katie, for the research introduction. Well, basically, would be to follow on to Kathy's presentation. We are just trying to find out the idea of what is modern and what is traditional in the Peranakan culture. And as you can see in the previous photographs and in our research of the past Peranakan photographs, we found out that modernity was interspersed here and there in between traditions in Peranakan culture. So basically, Peranakans are never afraid to experiment and push boundaries. So that's what we want to find out in families as well of today. Next, please, Kathy. So this is what we want to propose. We want to have a sense of photographing families in the Peranakan community in Singapore. Basically, if you have the whole family gathered together, that'll be great. Different generations, from grandmas, great-grandmas, to kids, to parents, all together in their home. If you have your kebayas, don on their kebayas. If you have your family heirlooms, if you have things that you treasure, have passed down from generations to generations, don't be afraid to share. We want to know more about your family, and also we want to find out different ways of photographing your families together with the things that you find you identify yourselves as Peranakan. So how can you do it? Basically, just send us an email saying that you're interested. So this is the email address that you can send it us to, peranakanphoto@gmail.com. What we would need you to leave in the email is basically your name, contact number. If you're overseas, if you want to find out more, you can leave your email address and contact number. We can WhatsApp as well. And also, if you have a family archive photograph that you want to share, briefly share with us. We are very excited to look at it. And once we receive your emails, we will contact you and we'll find out more about what your family history is like, how you identify yourselves as Peranakan, and also your availability for us to come down and speak to you in person if we can, subjecting to, of course, COVID-19 restrictions. And also, we'll bring all our gear down and we'll arrange for the family to gather together and have one good family portrait together. Yep. So set a date with us to at either your home or your side of your family business for us to take a photograph of you. So the key objectives of this is basically we want to have people who identify themselves as Peranakan to make use of what we know as a medium of photography. It can be, future forward, it doesn't have to be just from a camera medium. It could be things like selfies. It could come from your mobile phone cameras. In future, we want Peranakans to use photography as a way to experiment and to carry on this spirit of experimentation like the Peranakan forefathers did. And also the other objective is basically to make a keepsake, to have physical evidences of what identifies us as Peranakan, and also to contribute to this wealth of the culture that is what we have right now. And 2020s has just started. This year 2020, we want to show future generations, the 30s, the 40s, 50s onwards, to show them what 2020s families are basically like. Yeah. Yep, so I'm just flashing the email for us again. So if you're interested, do be a part of this movement. Do let us know, to share with us your families, the history of your family, your heirlooms, and things like that. And we want to hear from you. We want to take your pictures of your families and you. And yeah, we want to look forward to hear from you.
Just to add on to what Kathy and Ben have said, I think what's very interesting with In Frame, Peranakans Now, this photography project, is that over time, Peranakan families have also changed and evolved. There are many different types of families. So if you are a single parent family or just a couple, don't be afraid to contact us, because I think it should reflect the times that we are living in as well. So over to you, Alvin Un.
Yeah, thank you very much for that sharing, Kathy and Ben, on this particular project about photography. So right now we are going from Singapore and we are heading towards Melbourne, because we have another Baba who has another project that he would love to share. He's very passionate about it. Dawn, you have some questions for our Baba James Seow?
So maybe I'll just introduce James first. James is a young Peranakan who lives in Melbourne. He was originally from Singapore, and he runs a blog called The Well-Fed Nomad, which you can also find on Facebook and Instagram. And his project is called The Well-Fed Nomad Discovers Peranakan. So I'll ask James a bit about why he chose this project and why food heritage and food memories are so important to him. James, could you tell us what this project is about and what inspired you to start this?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dawn. I guess I grew up in a family that is very sort of interested in food. So the only connection that I have to the Peranakan heritage side of things, it's really my grandma. And I'm sharing this just to provide a little bit about the backstory of what inspired me to really go into the food side of things. So my grandma is a Nyonya, but she passed away when I was 16. So in a way, I just felt that my connection with the Peranakan heritage is sort of lost when I was very, very young. But the good thing is that when I was young, I spent a lot of time with her. And so she cooked a lot of dishes that have a lot of Malay and Indonesian influences. In fact, I remember that when I was young, the potato is one of my favorite vegetables. And I knew it, I've always called it by its Malay name, which is kentang, you know. It's not in Mandarin, it is not in Cantonese, it is not in English. So I really enjoyed those kind of dishes. And I realized that when I was growing up, food is a means to show love, care, and affection in my family, because my parents came from very humble backgrounds. And so to feed someone well, to ensure that someone is well fed, is a sign of love, care, and affection. And so that has always stayed with me. Later on, I also realized that by looking into how a community, how a family cook their food, what they eat, it is a gateway to understanding their culture, the past, the heritage, the roots, their identity. So that's the approach that I take towards understanding food. And so about 5 years ago, I sort of started this food blog on Facebook, and I call it the Well-Fed Nomad, because I like to believe that wherever I go, where I travel, whenever I'm away from home, either for a short while or to live permanently, like now, what I'm doing now in Melbourne, I will always be well fed. That I will always be surrounded by people who would care for me, who always look after me by way of feeding me well. So, and when I heard about this Project P, when Alvin Chan announced it, I thought, oh great, this is a wonderful way for me to reconnect with my culture. So with my roots, with my heritage, because I know very little about it. So I'm not I'm not a chef. I don't call myself an established cook as well. I'm not a food critic, but I'm very interested in understanding how what we eat and how we cook our food tell us about our past, about our culture. So the way that I plan to do this series, which is why I've decided to call it The Wealth That Nomad Discovers Peranakan. It's almost like embarking on a learning journey with esteemed Peranakan chefs and also with ordinary home cooks from Peranakan families. And I hope that I would invite them into my sort of virtual studio and have a chat with them about their relationship with food, what they cook, what they eat, what are their heirloom recipes, what are some of the dishes or snacks that they eat at home that cannot be found outside in restaurants and in food stalls. So I believe that all of us in our individual homes and families, there are very special recipes, dishes, snacks that we eat that are unique to our family that we would never find outside. So I hope to capture some of that in this series that I will be conducting soon. Yeah. So I'm now on the lookout actually for esteemed Peranakan chefs, not established chefs, but also home cooks from Peranakan families who would like to share their stories about food, about the family, and how some of these stories tell us and give us some insight into their family, into their relationships, childhood memories, and so on. Yeah. Back to you, Don.
So James, you mentioned that you would like to get in touch with such people. What do you hope to achieve with your project, and who do you need to get in touch with? I mean, I think there are a plethora of cooking shows out there. So is this another cooking show, or how different is it going to be?
It might be a cooking show. The way that I imagine it would really have it's almost like a casual, friendly living room style kind of a chat with guests. So I would imagine for each episode there will be one or two guests in this virtual studio, and so I will hope to chat with them and excavate and discover some of these stories about their food, about their family recipes, and so on, what they enjoy eating, and what they speak of their relationships and the connections to the family, to the larger Peranakan community. So I hope to learn some of these micro narratives. And what I realized is that for the more well-established Peranakan families in Singapore and Malaysia, we get to know their narratives because they are told in history books, in our cultural museums, in art exhibitions, and so on. And that's truly well and great. We get to know the past, we get to know the story. And I've been wondering about the micro-narratives from ordinary families who might not be a business leader or a political leader or even a philanthropist. How can we document some of these stories? And it is my wish to really record and to curate and to document some of these micro-narratives, their personal narratives, their stories, and how they relate to food, because that is my passion. And I hope that can be revealed in these interviews with them. Yeah.
So to conclude, James, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, they could actually contact me if Alvin could flash the banner. So they could actually contact me by email called thewellfednomad@gmail.com. They could also check me out on Facebook and Instagram, and the social media handle would be The Well Fed Nomad. So the best way is really to email me, So let's say whether you are an established chef or an ordinary home cook, I'm sure that there will be very interesting stories to tell, and I hope that they would be able to contact me via that email. Yeah. Oh, Dawn and Alvin, I'm wondering whether I could also take this opportunity to sort of give the audience and our viewers here just a little bit of an insight into this program that I did in Melbourne, Australia here just a few months ago, actually. Yes, thank you so much, Alvin. So this is a program that I did just a few months ago, about 3 to 4 months ago, with a community health organization called Thorn Harbour Health. And so they were looking for cooks, people from Victoria's multicultural and First Nation communities. And so as part of that show, I sort of cooked a Peranakan dish. And I thought, oh, this is a wonderful way to reconnect with my past, with my heritage. And so I cooked a dish which is a pork and tamarind sauce, otherwise known as babi asam. And with me, you will see the show host is Miss Catalina from Samoa, who has Samoan heritage. And I was quite, I was a little worried initially because as you know, babi asam, which is pork and tamarind sauce, has got quite strong flavors like tamarind, belacan, chili, salted beans, quite strong flavors. So I'm not sure. I was a little worried how well the crew and Miss Catalina would actually take to the dish. I was a little bit worried, but surprisingly, they loved it. And so immediately after they shoot, once the dish was completed, they all were very, very curious and they wanted to taste it. And Miss Catalina even said on social media that this is the dish, the babi asam, is a dish that will want to make a swing on a chandelier.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So I was quite tickled by her comments. And I thought, oh, wow, it's such a big compliment. I thought, oh, great. So the way that I see Peranakan food and dishes, that it has more appeal, it has wider appeal than just Malaysians and, Singaporeans or even Indonesians. So I believe it has a wide appeal. And I hope that in these, the Welfare Nomad discovers Peranakan web series, in some of these storytelling with home chefs and established restaurant chefs, they would be able to share some of these recipes, they would be able to tell some of these stories. And so that's what I hope to discover.
Great, that's so exciting. We hope to hear more from you in the future. And back to you, Alvin Un.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for that engaging presentation about food. I think we are getting a little bit hungry for babi asam already. Okay, I think we got some time to engage some of our audience. They are from all around the world. There's so many people watching. We'd like to say hello to everybody from around the world. Thank you so much for joining us. There were a few questions. Maybe Alvin, you can address to this because I think this person came in late. So Jacqueline is, how do I participate in this project? Maybe she missed out on the earlier part.
Maybe Alvin Un, could you show our email address again?
Absolutely. Okay, so we are going to tell you. Yeah.
Basically, Project P is looking at the diversity within the Peranakan culture, and it aims to be inclusive, and progressive view of Peranakan culture, whilst engaging the young people, the youth. So if you have any suggestions or any proposals, do write in to us, and then we will get back to you and we will discuss. And Dawn and I will help you to develop your project, and it will then go out to not just the Peranakan community, but also to the larger public. Do feel free to just write in. The Project P is not just for Peranakan, but it's also for possibilities, passion, pride, potential, playground, and purpose.
Okay, it's also heartwarming to know that we have friends from Terengganu. We have Tiong Hwa Wee here, who would also be very keen to join in the session. Now, for this is, I
Oh,
guess
great.
this, I think
Wonderful.
he might be mentioning about the photography project. Obviously, you guys cannot be going to Terengganu to take photos. So, any advice for people who are outside of Singapore who might want to be part of this?
I think they can contact Kathy and Ben at peranakanphoto@gmail.com. I mean, I read this year during the circuit breaker there have been photographers who do Zoom photography. I'm not sure how that can be done, but I'm sure we'll be glad to explore. And looking forward, hopefully next year, some traveling may be possible, and then we can expand the project to include people outside Singapore as well.
Okay, so for anybody who is interested in being part of this photo
Photography.
project, photography project, you can actually email to peranakanphoto@gmail.com. Okay, so I think we are looking for any comments. If anybody has any questions, any burning questions that you might like to ask our panelists, please do so because we are running out of time very shortly. We've got the next program coming up at 5, and we're going to go to where James is staying right now, and it's from the Melbourne Peranakans, who are going to do a presentation, a song and dance, and some comedy as well. So that's something to look forward to. And we're just hoping that we can answer any of your queries. Well, maybe we can take this time to wrap up any last words that you might want to advise people for if they want to take their own photographs and to share. What should they do and what should they look out for?
Maybe Kathy, you could answer that.
Kathy?
What about people who want to take their own photographs?
Hi, hello. Yes, so it would be great to kind of share with us your archive images of like your families, because we would also very much like to kind of like harken to the idea of your own family photographs and how we can introduce elements of that into the modern photographs. So, for example, if you look at how they're sitting, whether the lady is on the right or whether it's photographed outside. If you have any artifacts of Peranakan culture, like your grandmother's cabinets that have been passed down from generation, or if you have kabayas or your own family clothing, for example, so it would be really lovely to introduce all of those elements into your photographs as well. If you're based in Singapore, we would absolutely love if we would come into your home and photograph it for you as well, and we can make it a family event to have your photographs taken during this specific time in your life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Well, that's all the time that we have for this session. Before we end, I would like to thank all our panelists for this afternoon. Thank you very much, Baba, Alvin Tan, Kamsia Ba, for spearheading this entire Project P. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You're most
Alvin.
welcome.
Thank you
And
so
of
much.
course, my dear friend Dawn Marie Lee, she's always looking so gracious and beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, and we have, of course, our younger folks. We have Kathy and Ben. Thank you very much, guys, for doing this photo project. I'm sure it's going to be a hit, and it's going to be a regional project as well. And last but not least, we have our Baba in Melbourne. Hey, James, thank you very much for being part of this show as well.
Thank you for inviting. It's such a pleasure to connect with people from around the world, really. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. So this is the
Thank
end
you.
of this segment. So make sure you follow the next link at 5 p.m. for our presentation by our Melbourne Peranakans. My name is Alvin. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.